People who love fly fishing love to watch fly fishing movies, which is really weird because watching a fly fishing movie is the exact opposite of actually going fly fishing. Like right now, you, the audience, are not fly fishing because you're sitting around watching this guy fly fish. It's like watching somebody drink a refreshing beer instead of going down to the bar and getting yourself a refreshing beer. Normally, if this was any old fly fishing movie, I'd tell you to turn this garbage off and go fly fishing. But this isn't any old fly fishing movie. This is an award-winning film written and directed by the single greatest fly fishing mind of our generation.
Hi, I'm Hank Patterson, Cub Scout dropout, and world-renowned fly fishing expert and guide. And this right here is Hank Patterson's guide to making your very own award-winning fly fishing film tour film. Step 1 to creating your very own award-winning fly fishing film tour film. You gotta travel to a remote location. Now I'm here on the Aralick Lake. Is it Aralick Lake? I'm here on the Aralick Lake, about to embark on a 10-day trip down the Aralick River here in Alaska. Now I decided to come to Alaska for a few different reasons. Number 1, I was invited. Number 2, it was free. I've also never fished in a foreign country, and I don't have a job. So, what the hell else am I gonna do? Now, to get here, I flew from Boise, Idaho, to Seattle, Washington, over to Anchorage, and then to Bethel, and then we jumped on a float plane.
So your standard issue Alaska float plane uses about, 50 quarts of oil an hour. It's being held together by wood glue, duct tape, and a prayer, and it was likely built about 50 years before the Civil War. Your pilot's a guy that smells of cough syrup, burnt rubber, and cheap whiskey, and the only thing you know about this guy is that he moved to Alaska to avoid being prosecuted in a case that he refers to as that bloodbath in Darby, Montana.
Here's the thing. Everybody thinks that making a fly fishing film is this luxurious experience where all you're doing is sitting around drinking beer and martini and Rossi Asti Spumantis, catching trophy fish and cracking jokes and just hanging out with A-list movie stars like Henry Winkler and Tom Skerritt, but it's not.
The reality is, Henry Winkler's way too busy sipping wine spritzers in his Hollywood mansion to return your call, and you're at like 1,500 feet with a garbage bag. Puking your guts out. And this is only day 1 of 10.
What I'm saying, John, is this is day 1 of a 10-day trip, okay? And we all have to do our part. So while you're over here jacking around, filling up a raft, I'm over there having to watch Chris put together the frames. I don't know, Chris. I don't think this John guy is gonna work out. I mean, here you are, you're over here building these frames. I'm watching you build the frames, right? We're doing our part. He's over there screwing around with a raft. I'm just saying maybe all of us could pitch in equally. It's like I'm talking to a wall. Oh, hell. Look at this. Hey, look at this. He's over there building a fire. Dicking around. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you need any help with these frames, go and grab John. He ain't doing anything. One of the best parts about making a fly fishing film is it's super easy. Any jackass can do it. I do it all the time. You don't need any book learning or any of them diplomas or certificates or anything like that. So if you're in like the 3rd grade or the 4th grade or something like that and you're thinking, oh man, when I grow up, I want to make fly fishing films, you should drop out. Just quit school because it's dumb. And if your parents are like, hey, you're not going to drop out of school, you should run away. That's what Brad Pitt did, and then he ended up in A River Runs Through It. Which brings us to step number 2 of making an award-winning fly fishing film. You gotta have an awesome shot list. Now, for those of you not in the industry, a shot list is a list of shots. They ought to just call it a list of shots and that'd make it a lot simpler. Making an awesome shot list is very easy. All you have to do is watch any other fly fishing film ever made, because they all have the exact same shots.
Now, the first thing you're gonna need is about 10,000 slow-mo shots, because let's face it, this shot sort of sucks. But this shot is super awesome. You'll need a slow-mo shot of reeling, a low-angle slow-mo of line stripping off the reel, a slow-mo shot of fish coming out of the water, oh wow, a slow-mo shot of cooking, a slow-mo shot of making coffee, a slow-mo shot of drinking coffee, a slow-mo shot of a super hot male model stoking the fire. You'll need a slow-mo money shot, oh yeah. Don't forget a slow-mo shot of boots coming through the water. You gotta have a slow-mo shot of a guy casting into a waterfall in a snowstorm. A slow-mo of showing the fish to the camera. Now remember, extend those arms and get that fish way close to the lens. A slow-mo shot of the fish take, yes! Now during the fight, you're gonna wanna go from slow-mo to fast-mo and back to slow-mo. And a super close-up slow-mo shot of the fish. Pan up to the angler, and my favorite shot, the release. You're also going to need a time lapse, and another time lapse, and then more time lapses. Keep it hilarious with a fish flop shot. Add a freeze frame for effect.
I'll tell you what else you're gonna want. About 500 drone shots. Now what you want to do is cut to a series of shots that we in the industry call a montage. You're gonna need a fly box opening shot, pulling on waders, lacing up boots, one of them epic guy tying a fly on the line shots.
Tell me you're getting this shot. Tell me you are getting this shot.
And no fly fishing montage is complete without a series of gratuitous sponsor shots. Nice. Oh yeah, and that should do it.
One thing you gotta realize is sometimes making fly fishing films really sucks because you're gonna end up on a 10-day trip with 9 different guys and every single one of them eventually is gonna annoy the shit out of you. You're gonna have that one guy that snores a lot. The one guy who's always farting and thinks farting is hilarious. The guy who's always talking about the biggest burrito he ever ate. The one guy who's always talking about how much he misses his wife. No matter how many fish you catch, there's always one guy who's caught more on another trip to Alaska. The one guy that went to college, the one guy who always knows how to tie a better knot, the one guy that always knows how to cast a fly rod better. Then you got cigar guy. And the most annoying of all, the know-it-all. Am I right? I'll tell you what, we lucked out with this group of guys. Good people. That Aaron dude, he's a good dude. I told him I was going to be up in Bozeman in a couple of months, you know. A bunch of people are getting together to listen to me talk. Said maybe we should go fishing together or something like that. I probably won't follow up on it. Nice thing of me to say, though. So I was trying to sleep that first night. Started thinking about all the grizzly bears. I've been seeing all them paw prints. I was like, I'm not going to sleep. I mean, they say the human body needs like 8 hours a night, but I haven't slept in 3 days. No effect. Haven't felt the effects at all. I also, hey, I haven't slept in 3 days. Not even feeling it. So it's like everybody else is like laying in their tents, like bear food. I'm up, I'm alert. Hey, I haven't slept in 3 days. Did I tell you that?
Nope.
Not a wink. Haven't even felt the effects of it. It just doesn't even, I'm just wired different than other people. I can go, hey, 3 days without any sleep. Did I tell you that?
No.
I'm wired different. I can go a week without sleep and it doesn't even affect me at all. Step number 7, if you're gonna make an award-winning fly fishing film, you absolutely have to catch fish. And if you're in Alaska, that fish better be a salmon.
So my next project, I'm doing a shot-by-shot, line-by-line recreation of a river runs through it. Put a crew together. Gonna go shoot that next spring, and I'm gonna play the part of Norman McLean.
Of course.
And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, God, who's gonna play Brad Pitt? And then I'm the obvious choice for that as well. So, yeah, that's the way that's gonna go. And then I called Tom Skerritt to see if he wanted to reprise his role as the Reverend McLean, but he's on some power trip, won't return my calls, so the part of Tom Skerritt will now be played by an old house cat. Yeah. And I was able to get my hands on the glasses and sweaters that Tom wore. Can you hold that? Yeah. In a river runs through it. And we had a costume fitting with the house cat about a week and a half ago. Fit like a glove. There we go. You would actually think that that sweater was hand knit for that cat. And if I'm being honest, I think he reads the role better. So that's not going to make Skerritt happy. Too bad, Tom Skerritt.
You going for Hollywood or Broadway on this one?
It's a feature. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got these nippers, but I'll just chew it off. All right.
Here's a little pro tip if you're gonna be making a fly fishing film in Alaska. Don't bring bug spray. Now I know that seems counterintuitive because every time you're gonna come up fishing or doing anything in Alaska, people are like, oh man, the bugs, don't forget your bug spray. But it doesn't work here, right? Because the mosquitoes are the size of fruit bats. What you gotta do is you gotta keep everything covered, right? Wear long sleeves, long pants, you know, put on some shoes and underwear, and then like put one of them net things over your head, wear gloves. Everything has to be covered because if you expose any body part, no matter how tiny or small or insignificant or eensy-weensy, the minute that little tiny body part is exposed, it's like ding, ding, ding. It's a dinner bell to these mosquitoes. Bang, 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 and they just swarm and attack.
No, come on.
So anyway, keep covered up.
Oh, hell. Oh, son of a gun. Hey, Chris, look at this. Check this out. That is not good. Ay, ay, ay. Seriously. You grabbing a camera? Dang it. Dang. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. You're a doctor. Look at that. Check that out. It's like old cauliflower. It's all bumpy. Mosquitoes.
Step number 12 to making an award-winning fly fishing film is you gotta have killer voiceover. Like, what fish through yonder river doth break and junk like that. Another thing that's really important if you're gonna be shooting a fly fishing film in Alaska is you gotta have a good key grip or like best boy or just somebody that does all the work. That's why we brought Chris. Here, hand me that. There you go. Here, hold that. Hey, easy, easy. That's mine now. Hey,
Hey?
I ain't caught crap all day.
It's got 3 on a mouse right there.
Oh yeah?
Right there.
Is that 7 weight?
Yeah. Pretty nice rod.
Did you catch 3 more?
How is that not getting eaten? You're probably pushing the boat too fast.
So check this out. I haven't slept in 3 days. When did you get here? Have you been on this trip the whole time? When did you get here? Now, step number 7, if you're making an award-winning fly fishing film, is you gotta have that one guy who can't catch a fish. You know, some jackwagon, always missing the hook set, getting tangled up in trees, gets a fish on, thing always gets off. Just generally some guy that makes a complete idiot of himself every single time he gets that line anywhere near a fish. Now, in this film, it's John. Yeah. Step number 5 is you gotta catch a big damn rainbow on a mouse. Step number 5.5, you gotta catch a big damn grayling on a mouse. Last night, I had a whole conversation with Abraham Lincoln. That's another guy, that's a rock. You want to reel it in? You want to net it for me? You want to net it for me? It's a freaking rock. Did I tell you I haven't slept in 3 days? Step 18 or 7 or whatever to making an award-winning fly fishing film is you have to have a conservation message. Now, look. I know what you're thinking when I say conservation message. No! Hey, God, please! No, God! No conservation messages, please! No, God, no! And I get it. Hey, I wish that everything was awesome and that we didn't need to hear more conservation messages, but the reality is we do. Unfortunately, we need to have loud and constant reminders that the world, the rivers, the air, the ocean, the dirt, and the fish need to be protected from pollution, corruption, ruin, and extinction. We need to be reminded that we can all do our part to conserve the natural resources for our future, and the future generations, and the generations in the future's future, and the futures, all the futures. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, man, I'm just one person. What can I do? I'm just an accountant or a mechanic, or maybe you're a heart doctor and you're thinking, I can't save the world. And you're right, you can't. But you can participate in the process. You can do your small part. So what can you do? Well, number one, you can give a Actually, you should give two and if you've got a third you should probably give it because the planet could use a third Number two, you can support conservation organizations. You know, give them time, give them money, send cookies, support their efforts, you know, just help them to help us. Now, 3 through 12. Don't pollute, don't litter, don't be apathetic, don't believe that conservation or climate change are political issues because that's a trap. The planet doesn't care if you vote for an elephant or a donkey, and neither do I. Be willing to listen to each other. Be willing to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I mean, not about this, but it does happen. I mean, be kind when you disagree with other people. And for the love of all that's holy, don't believe the lie that there's just nothing that you can do. Think of it this way. The planet is a giant campground, and life is a long, strange camping trip that we're all on, and we need to pack out what we packed in. I mean, you ever show up at a campsite and the guy before you left like beer cans and toilet paper and diapers and a half-melted water bottle in the fire ring, and you think to yourself, what a douche. Just don't be that douche. Leaving the planet in the exact same condition that we found it in is the least we can do. I mean, the most that we can do is leave it in better condition, but the very least that we can do is leave it as nice as when we, came into it. Anyway, hell yeah, you need a conservation message in your video. And then, after you get down off your soapbox, you better get back to the fish porn. Some of the most amazing, beautiful, remote places on Earth are the best places to go and shoot a fly fishing film. They are also the absolute worst places on Earth to have to poop. I mean, think about it. You ever have to poop from a drift boat, right? You better have strong quads, right? I remember one time in 07, I was out there fishing with a group about 12 people, found myself in a, way too many wontons the night before situation, right? There's no trees or anything out in this desert that we're fishing. Had to build myself a little poop igloo out of tumbleweeds just to get a little privacy. I mean, seriously, you show me a picturesque place to shoot a fly fishing film, and I'll show you a place with no toilet. 1 minute, you're gonna be shooting the film, and the next minute, you're digging a hole that you can poop in. Here in Alaska, on the Arolik, it's even worse, because you can't have that privacy because you have to have a poop buddy. Somebody to go with you and stand over your shoulder and keep a lookout for grizzly bears while you're doing your business. Because grizzly bears are known for attacking pooping human beings. Because that's when we're at our most vulnerable. You got your pants around your ankles, you can't get up and run, right? So they're like, I'll tell you what else, you better not find yourself in a 30 or 40 minute situation or, God forbid, diarrhea, because a bear downwind 40 miles can pick up a scent of a fresh juice in under 2 minutes. That same average grizzly bear can travel at a top rate speed of 71.4 miles per hour. If you begin pooping at 3:14 p.m. and you had fish tacos the night before, how long do you think it'll be before that said grizzly is ripping your jugular vein from your throat? 24.7 minutes. So if you can't finish your business in under 10 minutes, you better have a good poop buddy. Going out there that first day because I had to poop. Nothing. I haven't pooped in 4 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all.
I also haven't pooped in 4 days. The grizzly bears. They get in your head. Because I'm doing this thing where I'm not pooping till the end of the trip. Here's another pro tip. A few weeks before your Alaska trip, you're going to want to put together a list of all the items that you're going to bring because you're not going to have a lot of space. For example, John and me, we're having to share that toothbrush. Oh, hey, I borrowed your toothbrush. So I've fished in Texas, right? I did brookies in West Virginia. Don't, bother with that. So I fished in Texas. I fished in West Virginia, and the other 50 states. So I've been pretty much to all 52. So now I fished in Canada a couple of times, Mexico, never in a foreign country until now, up here in Alaska. So, the biggest difference that I see between the country of Alaska and the United States, where we're from, right, is in the United States, we're what you call a democracy. You understand, where we have an elected, government. And in Alaska, they're what you call a monarchy, which means they have a king. The current king, of course, being King Crab. It was the Crab family who actually threw the original monarchy over King Salmon in the late 1800s in the Battle of the Salmon Run. So, and if you follow your history, you know that King Crab is getting on in years and will soon turn it over to his son, Prince Nymph. So, yeah, just a little history lesson. Wanted to share. It's all about knowing where you're at, Mark, the history of places, that sort of thing. I'm sort of a buff, a history buff, so.
Ain't nothing better than campfire cooking.
Do they even have an Arby's where you come from? I mean, have you ever had like an Arby, like just a regular roast beef sandwich, just slathered in horseradish sauce?
Yeah.
Way better. Freaking Wendy's is better and that crap sucks. So I wanted to pull you aside. I wanted to talk to you for a minute because here's the situation. Step number 10 in how to make an award-winning fly fishing film is you have to have a tragic element, right? Something bad has to happen that everybody has to sort of overcome, okay? And so what I was thinking, and I'm just spitballing here. What I was thinking is, what if tomorrow morning, when the rest of us are leaving, you are not on that plane? See what I'm saying? Are you following me here?
No.
Like you're not on the plane. You didn't make the plane, right? You've disappeared, right? So you maybe take one of these rafts down that south channel out to the bay or wherever it goes, and you disappear for 6 or 7 months or something like that, and then eventually you emerge. I mean, eventually you survive the
What about
the
Brent?
thing, right?
I think Brent would be great. I don't feel
comfortable
and
inviting Fish or Brent to do something like that because here's the thing, okay? We're not going to send you there with nothing. I'm going to all the extra food. There's a couple of cans of pork and beans, right, and a lighter. You can take that stuff with you, all right? So you're going to be okay. You're going to survive this thing, and I'm not talking about you maybe being into the harsh part of the Alaskan winter, maybe just the first 6 or 7 months of it, and then let me throw this out there. When you emerge from the wild, you're the hero. I mean, you are the absolute hero of this film, right? And then you're probably on the TV, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you get on the television, and then something like that, You ever been on TV?
Yeah, but I don't know. 6 months, pork and beans. I don't know.
All right.
No,
Okay.
No,
It's your call. It's your call. So you're saying no.
I'm saying no.
And that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No. We'll put it to bed.
No.
We'll put it to bed. You're not gonna do it. I wouldn't put you in a position like that if you're not all for it. Now, what if? And I'm just spitballing here. What if tomorrow, when we all go to leave, Chris isn't on that plane?
To hell with them.
I'm done with the guy.
No problem. Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Who's Chris? It's nothing like a good campfire.
Except a heater, like a good heater, or like radiant heat. It's a lot better than a campfire. It's like it stays constant. Step number 13 to making an award-winning fly fishing film. At the end of the credits, you better have a blooper reel.
Hey, John, you know, I've been meaning to ask you, do you already have a poop buddy?
No.
That is surprising. You're pretty popular around the camp. I'd have thought one of those other guys already snatched you up. Well, you know what they say. Prettiest girl in school never has a prom date. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Chris isn't working out. Not a good poop buddy. So, if you would have me, I would consider taking you on as my poop buddy. Make you feel a lot more comfortable when you're out there taking a poop, me standing right there over your shoulder. Here's John, here's Hank. Here's John, here's Hank. Hey Eric, it's Hank Patterson calling from the Aerolik. Hell, I'm in Alaska. Hey, just wanted to call and let you know, good news, bad news. The good news is catching a lot of fish, having a hell of a time. Anyway, I broke your fly rod in half. Mine's fine, and so we're still catching fish with mine, but yours it's broken in half. Anyway, you might want to call Orvis and see about their return program.
We almost have flames.
Yeah.
You are welcome, John. You are welcome. Got it?
Yeah.
You gotta lean back on that fish. That's proper technique right there. Lift with your back. That's what they say to do. Right? Chris, do you have the back strength to net this for me? He's pissed. He's an angry fish. Look at the bend in that rod. Chris. Son of a bitch.